our children should be participating in just as much stuff as this as kids anywhere else in the county are. And I know that the school being over there, presents problems for families. I've got some kids. My kids are young and they do sports and things like that. But man, I'm also the chaplain for Fellowship of Christian Athletes at Llano High School. And I can tell you that the kind of kids that I deal with here at the church in Kingsland are the kind of kids that these things are tailor-made for. And I'm a product of that myself. I was thinking the other day, if I wouldn't have been able to go to school and play football and basketball with my friends, would I have even gone? I don't know that I'd have hung around and graduated. Jennifer.
I think it's important for everybody to think about. I know a lot of people don't have kids here in the school system, so you think, well, what does that matter to me? Well, not having a community school is what sends so many of our good quality young families out to Vernon County and other places, because if you're and having to drive your kids all that way, and if you're your own kids driving that way, send some of our great quality young families and good people in the community out to other school districts.
My daughters aren't that old yet, but the thought of it scares me to death to think. I don't know how many traffic accidents you guys work on 71 and 29, but the thought of my daughters every day making that 20-something mile trip, that's a lot of miles for a 16, 17-year-old kid to cover. It's scary. And Zane brought this point up to me a couple years ago. You take a kid. You take a kid 36 weeks out of the year and put them on a bus for 10 hours a week. 30 minutes each. An hour. A lot of them ride an hour each way. So you're talking 10 hours. You're talking 10 hours a week. And I don't know how many of you have kids in here, but I don't know anybody in the room that wouldn't say yes if we said, hey, raise your hand if you'd like to spend 360 more hours a year with your family. I think that's an important thing. I think most of us in here are old enough to remember the good old days in some form or fashion. And I don't think anybody in here would argue that there's a serious erosion of the family going on in our country right now. It's a scary thing to think about. And, those are certainly. I don't know if y'all know Jennifer, but she probably could speak better about this than I could. She's a school administrator and very well versed. I wish I knew what she did about this stuff, but my main purpose here tonight was hopefully to shed some light on what's going on at the school district, and I would say, I would ask you to just search your own heart, pray about it, think about it, whatever you got to do to ask yourself, how can I get involved? And I would say that the first way to do it is just go vote. Just go talk to some of these people running for school board. And I think right now we've given up on this side of the county. There's an election coming up in May, and there is not one candidate from this side of the county running for school board. I think that the 2015 last year, when we saw the candidate from Kingsland was Charlie White, right here next door, and that's on page 3. When he lost that election 510 to 138. Again, our precinct, 2,700 registered voters, almost 2,800, and he got 56 votes. He didn't get 56. He got 45. The other candidate got 10 over here. But that's a problem. I perceive two problems there. The first one being if you register to vote, go vote, and the second one being if we're 7,000 people, and I know we've got a population that's that skews older than it does younger here compared to other places. Of the 7,000, there's got to be more than 2,800 that are eligible to register. I don't know if we're doing a good job of getting the word out there to, hey, get registered to vote. And that's about all I've got.
Well, Jason, I hear your number here. And basically, what we're down to work is people need to vote. And I don't know how to spread that word, how to get it out anymore. And everybody here has talked to me. I talk to a lot of people on a daily basis. Greg talks to a lot of people. We all talk to, in the workforce, we talk to a lot of people. And what we're hearing from people is they'll have all their complaints and they want to say this. I heard somebody today, Ron, and they came in and they saw our flyer on the counter up there. They go, y'all don't want me here. I said, well, why not? Well, I'll tell you what, Ron Wilson, he won't come fix my road. And I asked myself, well, who'd you vote for? Why don't I vote? They won't make a difference. Well, I'm hearing this from people that they don't want to vote, but they won't complain. And Ron, I know your job is not to fix those roads. I see your economic study. I see where you have all these requests for this road to be fixed. And I see no, 50 no's, and then 1 yes. So I know you're asking for things. I know you're requesting work to be done in Precinct 3, but I know it's not getting done.
Well, we paved, well, you said culvert, but we've paved over 10 miles.
I know that, but I hear this lady says, well, I can't even get out of my driveway. Well, I don't want to come to my house. And so it's just
Call me.
people want to complain, they're not wanting to get out and vote. They're not wanting to get out and make a difference because it's so much easier to complain about things than it is to go out and make it. So I am a voter. Obviously, I live in Llano, so I am limited, but I have business in Kingsland, so I have vested interest in who's in position in Kingsland. I have interest in who's law enforcement. I have interest in school districts here. We did live in Kingsland. My kids went to Llano school. Same time you talk about, my children go back and forth every day. Every day we get pray for our kids, drive down, pray for our kids, drive back. My kids' mission started going to our hall school, I was over in district. They wanted, I was at board and they were getting. They would say no, they did it, they were driving more calls. Same difference, they're driving more calls, driving less, same drive, but they're having to drive somewhere. Point taken. You gotta talk to your neighbors. You gotta tell them. You know, I've talked to several people that went to last week's meeting, and they go, wow, we didn't know there was any problems. Well, if you don't ask, you're not gonna know. If all you listen to your neighbor complaining about the road not being fixed, you're not gonna know that they need out to vote for somebody that's actually fighting for you. So, I'm supporting you guys. I want you to know that any way I can.
And we appreciate it.
And I know it's getting kind of a long meeting. I know some people probably get a little antsy, so I want to make sure that, you know, Ron, I know we talked about some of the economic growth in Kingsland, talked about things that are changing. Last meeting we talked about possibility of super HUD, talked about some other things. Can you give us something on that to give us some positives?
Well, HEB, I think, is the major, could be a major catalyst for future development here. We have a commissioner's court that sometimes is not, as I say, pro-development. For our subdivision regulations need to be purged, need to be changed a lot. If you look at, for example, well, let's see, what can we do? If you look at Bernie County, if you look at Horseshoe Bay, for example, the word variance, and the judge will understand this. If you have a 25-foot setback, and I think I mentioned this the other night, you have a 25-foot setback where you want to build a house from the road. Well, if you have a waterfront lot, and I have a case right now, I think I mentioned, they want it from 25, they want to do 15. So you've got a 10-foot variance. But you're talking about a waterfront home, maybe a $300,000 project at least, which is going to increase your tax base. So I'm trying to say that we have a great future in a proper direction, but you have to get people involved in that process, and that is the political process. I mean, I don't know what else you can do. We make the decisions, the Commissioner's Court, and when you have, well, I won't talk about that anymore, but I've heard the possibility of Walgreens going in. The economic development committee has recommended. Maybe I think number 3 on the list is the 14th River Bridge going across to Vernon County. Well, I mean, if you don't have ingress, egress, you know, for transportation, how are you gonna, and then the internet, for example, this R&B Controls, I think it's called down here, I talked to them months ago, and their main beef is faster internet. And it's difficult to operate a business without fast internet. So we need to get that in. Well, how do you do that? Well, you talk to Verizon and AT&T and the big guys that come in here. So it's a long, tedious process. Am I explaining anything at all about development here? And as somebody mentioned about incorporation, well, I think the judge mentioned about incorporation. You know, the voters make that decision. I mean, you can't just snap your fingers, and it's not going to solve all the problems. If it's, as I said before, if you have, will a developer come in and spend $100 million to purchase lots on Skyline, which is beautiful property, in my opinion? Are they going to do that if we're not incorporated? I don't know. The infrastructure is here. You know, KMUD is a fantastic corporation. They do a lot for our town here. I think the main thing is, you know, it's folks are just going to have to get involved. And for our children, I talked to Zane about, and my last campaign part of it was a youth center. I still think that would go a long way towards helping our crime problem, but mainly for the children, for the kiddos. You see walking the streets at dark. We need a place to go. They need a place to go. Some kind of variety, boys and girls club, something. So I don't know. You have to have, and there again, then you've got that. I have to go back to that comment that was made by the Horseshoe Bay person. When you're dealing with that kind of negativism, where do you begin? The cost. Where do you mend? How do you compromise? Well, you got to start somewhere. So I think this forum is a really good start. You know, whatever got people together to come out and have the home, you know, the home meet and greet. People have to get involved.
What you're saying is that what I see is we have 1 or 2 people, also we have 30.
Yeah.
So that 30 can also take that home and have 10, 5. Doesn't matter what the number is. The fact is that everybody here, if you're willing to make a difference, make a difference. If you're willing to do something, small steps. You talk about community issues, you know, like cleaning the day center, you are involved in youth. I mean, what great would it be to have a youth center, you know, something, because we don't actually have youth in this area who are. What's going to happen to you here down the road. So you're right about that. Small steps, everybody has a voice.
You know, it's I go back to old cliches. Remember Paul Harvey, PMA, positive mental attitude. Okay, well, you got to have that. But you take, when I was growing up in Llano, I had a few people, business owners that helped me out, helped me get a job. They gave me a job. They didn't have to give me a job, 50 cents an hour, but still, it was a job. And that's got me started. So, you know, the grassroots level that Zane's talking about, we really do need that. And I think I've located some money, by the way, some funds for that. Can't say where, but maybe we can get that. Anything else, Sheriff?
Main thing is educate yourself on who's running, why they're running. Call your friends, get out and vote, become involved in your community. And I think everybody's getting numb enough. I think that's all I need to say.
One more thing, I know we have Commissioner's Court this Monday. I know a few of us have obligated ourselves, we're gonna go.
Please come.
And I am asking for 2 more cards.
I'll take it.